is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
Mike, sorry about your Eagles, man. Let me say something real quick here about your Eagles. It couldn't have happened to a nicer fan base, Mike. I mean, you know.
Shut up. You're sitting for some background. Rob is an official Philly hater. Okay, it's been that way since day one. It's a surprise that myself and Bill O'Neill ever even let you in our circle of friends because you're such a hater of anything Philadelphia. Anything. Let's just be honest. You got no love for the city of Philadelphia. You're a New York guy. You're one of those typical New Yorker nothing. No other city can stand with us. You don't want to admit that Philadelphia is a great city with rich history and you know an amazing sports history as well.
Let's talk. Okay, I have no hate against any of the city, of the history, the tradition, anything, all that. I'm a huge Rocky Balboa fan, right? I love Rocky. He is Philly. What I do not like is I do not like your fan base. Your fan base is the worst fan base in all of sports. All of sports. I'm talking I've been, and how many cities have I lived in, Mike? How many sporting events have I been to? And Philly is just just nightmare of a place when it comes to their fans. But look, you know, it's not 100% of the fan base. It's like, you know, 94%.
When you say that, you're talking about me. You're talking about my people.
I'm talking about your fan. The fan base of Philly is just, I mean, look, like
you're talking about my people. You're talking about some of my people, my personal people here.
Look, I'm a New Yorker. I'm a Jet fan. They suck, right? We play against the Phillies all the time as Met fans. It's a rivalry. It's a city rivalry. What are you going to do? I mean, I can't support anything.
I never brought this up on the pod. The first time we're going to dip into this, but like you and I went to a Jets-Eagles game a few years ago.
Oh, that was a nightmare.
At MetLife Stadium. And you know, you always complain about Philly fans and whatnot, but what happened, Rob?
You I can't even talk about this story. It's too good. We sat behind the most obnoxious Jet fan you could ever imagine, but we were in the nosebleeds, okay? And Mike was wearing his Eagles jersey, and he was the only Eagle fan out of the 10 of us that were there. And Mike, was I not the smallest person out of the 10 of us that were there? I was literally the smallest guy out of the 10, okay? That's how big the guys were that we were with, right? My brother was there. It was just, we sat in the nosebleeds, which I didn't want to do at MetLife. Anybody wants to sit anywhere, it's in the more expensive seats, right? You get a better crowd, right? We sat behind this guy. He must have been 100 pounds soaking wet, right? Sitting with his mother, okay? And let Mike have it for literally almost 3.5 quarters until Mike finally turned around, put him in his place. And then the guy looked like his soul left his body when Mike got up and turned around and pretty much put him in his place.
I gave a whole speech, if you remember. I stood up and I gave a whole speech about Philadelphia versus New Jerseyans. You know, because homeboy didn't know that I am a Jersey person. So I got the inside info on Jersey, especially North Jersey. So I may have also made a comment about him living in his mom's basement. Nonetheless, you say this about Philadelphia fans, but then I go to MetLife Stadium with you, and I get treated like
not one time did I say that New York fans were a great fan base, right? And put them in the top probably 3 worst fan bases, and I'm a New Yorker. but Philly takes the cake. Triple Crown, you name it, they're on top of the world when it comes to being a just terrible fan base. But look,
Yeah, and, listen, they lost. Them losing today definitely puts a little bit of a little bit less enjoyment for me in the remainder of the football season. But I'll still be watching the games and I'll still be tuning in to watch the matchups. I hadn't watched much of the Eagles this year because I had other obligations, but I could tell that they were a team that was not primed to go on a run.
Dude, Purple Hammer says, or Purple Slammer says, the guy you bullied at the stadium grew up to review bowling balls under the name of Luis. Good job. Yeah, man, that's hilarious.
All right.
We got a guest coming on, so let's get
into it. We gotta get to what the people really come here for, and that's League Report, right? Everybody wants to hear the League Report. And
I lost sleep over it.
Man, let me tell you, I'm gonna say this. I ended the first half with a 202 average. Okay, I ended the first half at 202.
Well, what'd you bowl last week, though?
I'm also gonna say that it was an irrelevant week because the best we could do was move up one spot to third. We were either going to finish third or fourth. We ended up tied for third. So I was, not a ton of motivation. But yeah, your boy narrowly escaped sub 500 territory. 501 for 3.
What'd you guys bowl on?
Medium pattern Autobahn, and man, they were a mess, man. They were just sloppy and messy, and no defined real area to throw the ball to, and we did not have a lot of fun out there. There were several sub 500 series on the pair, and high on the pair was 580.
Kevin says sounds like a good night for some average management. Usually, you're not doing average management in the last week or. How many weeks are left? Did you say?
Well, that's it. That was the end of the first half. So
first half. So yeah, nobody's average managing in the last week of the league.
First half done. We have 18 more glorious weeks left. Great. Can't wait all the way to May when the weather's beautiful and no one wants to be in the bowling alley. But nonetheless, end of the first half. We start second half this week. I'll be there. I'm glad. Listen, I had a decent first half, bowl pretty well. It's pretty good for me. Anything over 200, I'll take it. But yeah, this week certainly was not one of the highlights. That's for sure.
Oh, gotcha. All right,
back to it this week. We're back at it.
I did some bowling this weekend.
Okay.
Imagine it's the first time I've said that in like 8 months. I think it feels. I went to B3. If anybody didn't catch us social media, I got a little bit of a quick glimpse of the B3 performance place. And let me tell you how amazing it is to go into a place to practice that has a sport shot laid out, and it is 4 lanes, and you are the only person bowling for an hour. Let me tell you about the heaven of bowling. That is in my opinion, the greatest sight you could see walking into a facility to go practice. And for me, I figured, you know what? I didn't want to fight the Bolero crowds on a Saturday afternoon. I was kind of done doing it. So I decided, to pay the 40 for the hour, which isn't terrible because I probably would have paid 20 or 25 to bowl Bolero for like 3 or 4 games. And yeah, I just bowled. I just got it out, the webs off my system. My back still hurts. Never going to leave that. But I'm thinking about bowling with some kind of like back strap or back like weight like belt or something. I don't know if anybody in listening to this or is in the chat has any experience bowling with just kind of a really just bad lower back. What do you do to like while you're bowling? I mean, not after or before. I got all that taken care of. But while you're bowling, does anybody ever bowl in a like back brace or like a back strap or? It's just one of those things I'm probably going to have to manage for the rest of my life. But anyway, yeah, it was cool to bowl again. I start to feel myself a little bit starting to motivate again to bowl. Possibly bowl the Tat in July if I can get my shit together in a few months. But that would be a cool goal. Maybe I could convince Mike to come out for like 3 days and bowl the Tat. I think anybody who has any clue or pulse out there bowling and bowls a lot of sports shots and is eligible to bowl that tournament, I think needs to at least try to bowl like once a year there at Jamie's tournaments there. It's winnable. It really is. It's a winnable tournament if you can know what you're doing in a sense. So anyway, all right. Well, I'm glad I got that out of my I actually had something to talk about during league review, Mike.
Rob's back. That's the headline.
Yeah, I'm not back. I'm just slowly baby steps into it. There's no back. I'm slowly into it. So anyway, we have a guest, Mike. And I know it's late and I know you're tired probably. I can't imagine what you're doing.
I'm good. I'm good.
But I wanted to bring on
tomorrow, folks. Half day tomorrow.
Yeah. So like we always like supporting great causes here, Mike. And if anybody has watched PBA in the last couple of years, every show they normally have veterans in the crowd, and they bring them out and they do their names and they applaud and they give recognition to a lot of veterans, rightfully so. And the partnership with the PBA with the Bowlers to Veterans link has been a pretty well-known cause that a lot of high-level pros and whatnot have been on board supporting. And Jessica Abel is the executive director of Bowlers to Veterans Link. And I wanted to bring Jessica on to talk to her about like how she got into it. I know she's a really good bowler in her own right. Her husband has bowled against us at Wichita. So I kind of wanted to bring Jessica on and talk to Jessica. There she is. Hello, Jessica.
Hello. Hi. Thanks for having me.
How's it going? Your audio, you're coming in so good right now. You're coming in better than us.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing well. I'm doing better because the Bills won today. So I'm sorry, Mike, about your Eagles, but we're normally in your spot, right? So yeah, it's a good Sunday. I was actually thinking when you told me Sunday night, I'm like, if the Bills lose, I'm just gonna want to call it a night, but it worked out. So yeah.
I hate the Bills too, Jessica, FYI. So I hate a lot of teams.
I hate everything. You're a hater.
You're a Jets fan, though. I mean, that's
Can
brutal.
I just be miserable? Like I want to bring the misery
The Bills
to
have
everybody else.
endured a lot over the years, their fan base, but man, it must really suck to be a Jets fan right now.
Right now, my whole life. It is what it is.
Right?
So yeah, Jessica, we wanted to bring you on to talk about I like to hear about yourself and how you got into bowling, just to do a little snapshot of like how you ended up where you are at Bowlers to Veterans Link. But I know you were a great bowler in your own right too. So yeah, I kind of want to talk about your just start.
Yeah, so it goes pretty far back. My dad bought a bowling center in Ohio when I was 4. So from a very young age, I learned to ride my bike on the approach of a bowling center. I learned to rollerblade there. That was just my life. So my dad owned that bowling center from the time I was 4, and then he sold it in the summer of 2022, I believe. So I just grew up around it. I was bowling a lot, bowled a lot of youth tournaments, and then ended up going to Wichita State, which kind of kickstarted things for me. I was kind of in that weird age group where when I came out of college, there was no women's tour. So, I was bowling the Queens, the U.S. Open, that kind of thing, as much as I could, but there wasn't a tour at that time. So I started working in the bowling industry for a chain of bowling centers in Wichita because we were still living there at the time. And then fast forward to 2017, we had our son and we were still living in Wichita, and we were like, we really, at the time, none of our friends had kids. So we moved back to upstate New York, where my husband Ryan's from. So I got out of the bowling industry from 2017 until mid 2024. But I really missed it. I wasn't bowling at all. And I was in property management. I wasn't really loving it. It was kind of a on-call 24/7 type deal. And I actually just saw that BVL was looking for a new executive director, and the rest is kind of history. I came on board in July of 2024, and here we are.
Question.
Yeah.
When your dad sold the bowling center, did he sell it to Bolero?
He did not. He
Okay.
actually sold it to a family friend. And he's still there all the time. He runs the pro shop. He's going to be 76 this year. No, 77 this year. And he's still around it. So he left it in great hands. So no, he did not sell it to Bolero.
Okay.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica. You bowled at Wichita and you won a national championship with Wichita.
I did in 2009. Yes.
You did, and you were All-American.
I was. Yes.
Jessica can bowl, people. I'm telling you.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
No, and Ryan bowled in Wichita.
Yeah, Ryan bowled in Wichita. Yeah, you probably bowled a lot of tats with Ryan. He chased the tour for a couple years. I think I even bowled the tat once or twice, maybe. When you guys were talking about that earlier,
Right.
I'm like, oh, those were some memories. The tat's a lot of fun, so highly recommend that.
Ryan throws it good. I don't know. Was Ryan still bowling?
So he's not. He bowls once a year. So we bowl USBCs with a group from my dad's bowling center. I've been bowling doubles with my dad since I started USBCs in 2009. So we go out and bowl with them. And so Ryan doesn't pick up a ball all year. And then, he goes and drills balls a couple weeks before the tournament, and he bowls like 3 times. And then like this last year we went to Baton Rouge and he bowled like 2015. He bowled over 2,000. And I'm like, that's just not fair. It's just not fair. So yeah, he still throws it exactly the same. He just doesn't bowl. So
it's like riding a bike. Throws it good.
Yeah.
I remember, Ryan, I mean, just textbook with a high rev rate. It was always fun to watch.
Yeah, so good, but doesn't.
There's nothing more bowling than a Wichita State love story.
Right?
Right? I mean, that's what I'm sitting here thinking while you guys are talking. Like, there's nothing more bowling, man. I mean,
Jordan Vatican should have been
love of bowling. It's the love of bowling creating love amongst people who love bowling. It's wild.
And Coach V loves that. He loves his, couples that have gotten together through Wichita State. So we went back, I think it was last summer, the summer before, and went to Coach V's house. He just loves it. So not as much as you though, Mike, but he does love it.
I never knew Coach V. All I know is that anytime I saw the guy, he was never smiling. So I can't just see him. I can't see him liking anything, to be honest with you. But especially when I crossed over 7 out of 8 times against them in the Nationals, and he definitely wasn't smiling.
No, he's a great guy. Great guy.
I bet. I like to have him on, honestly, to do an interview.
You should. He loves his people hard. Just an all around great guy.
Yeah, and just program that he created, or I imagine he didn't start it, but man, what a job he did at that university. It's crazy. All right, Jessica, I want to talk about bowlers to Veterans Link. So give us a summary of what you guys do. What's the mission of this organization, and what you guys are planning on this year? And give us a rundown.
Yeah, so I'll kind of start from the beginning and give you the quick summary. We started in 1942. So some women bowlers in America got together, and they wanted to do something to help their fathers, sons, husbands that were overseas fighting at the time. And they started collecting pennies, and I get chills every time I say this because they collected enough pennies to buy 2 commuter airplanes to help bring troops home. So that's just crazy to me to think that they did that back in 1942. So a year later, the men, which I don't even know if it was ABC at the time, but the men bowlers in the US, they wanted to help as well. So they started raising funds and were able to send care packages to the troops overseas. So that's how we got started. We fund anything recreation therapy for veterans. So since 1942, we've raised nearly $60 million to support recreation therapy for veterans. So I think a lot of people, there's a lot of misconceptions. Bowlers to Veterans Link, they think we only support bowling for veterans, and that's a very small portion of what we do. So less than 10% of what we do annually is actually supporting bowling events for veterans. We love to support them, but we do a lot of other really wonderful things for veterans as well. We have a big program right now with a company called Mind VR. So we fund virtual reality glasses in a little over 50 VA homes across the country. So that's just an incredible program. It not only allows them, recreation therapy, but those glasses allow them, for a lot of them, it can be very healing. If they were a fighter pilot, they can put those glasses on and they can get back in the cockpit of an airplane and experience that again. There's a lot of Vietnam vets that they love to put those on and Google Earth to Vietnam and see what it looks like today. So that's a really special program that we fund. We fund multiple honor flights a year, things like equine therapy. We fund and help support all the national VA sports programs. So just a lot of really wonderful things. So anything you can think of that would be recreation therapy for veterans, we support.
I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that's an incredible cause. And when did you start with Bullets for Veterans?
Yeah, so I came on board in July of 2024. So just kind of, that's actually when our fiscal year starts. So I'm just kind of in the middle of my second year here with that. So like you said, one of the, we are the official charity of the PBA Tour. So as you mentioned, a lot of people see those vets, that salute to veterans segment on the PBA telecast. And a lot of people, find out about us that way. So I've been on kind of a personal mission, I guess, if you will, since I started to make sure that at least everybody in the bowling world knows BVL and knows what we do, because I think once people realize what we do and what we support, it's a very easy cause to get behind.
So my question would be where, you talked a little bit about what you guys do and some of the programs you fund, and obviously you mentioned some numbers, going back to the inception of BVL. But today, where does most of your funding come from?
That's a really great question. So we're just coming off our biggest year ever. So last year we did $1.8 million. So that's the biggest year in our history that we've ever had. So of that $1.8 million last year, a little over $1 million of that comes from local USBC associations. So they are a huge part of what we do. Libby Fletcher kind of heads up that task force for us. So she works directly with all the USBC associations across the country, the state and the locals. So that's where a lot of it comes from. The other, 800,000 comes from bowling centers, industry partners, and individual donors.
And I'm not going to lie to you, I kind of knew what the answer to that question would be because I'm familiar with with BVL. But yeah, I want people to know. I do. I mean, that's when Rob told me you were coming on. One of the points that I wanted to make, and one of the things that I want our listeners to know is that this is an organization that is mainly supported by bowlers in the bowling community, right? And it's supported by smaller donations from larger amounts of people throughout the bowling community. And so when you see them at your local tournament organization, or there's a collection being taken up for your local BVL at your local USBC tournament or state tournament, definitely don't hesitate to throw any amount towards that, because not only is it going to add to that total, and that's the bulk of where their fundraising is coming from, but you heard some of the great things that they're doing as well, right? So it's great that we have a program like this that, basically, like I said, it comes down, it's supported by the bowlers themselves.
Yeah, and you make a really great point. I think a lot of people too, we get so many people coming to us like, how can I help? And a lot of people think that they have to have this huge fundraiser, or they have to donate this huge amount of money, and that's just simply not the case. We have a campaign going on right now called Strikes for Valor, and it's basically encouraging people to sign up for monthly giving. And I encourage people to sign up to give $5 a month, what you would spend at Starbucks one day out of the month, give to the veterans. And if you only knew what that $5 a month could do, it's really quite incredible. So you're right. It's those pass the hats. It's those 50-50s at the state tournaments. It's that kind of thing that all adds up. And last year added up to $1.8 million. So it really is incredible. I know we can get to 2 million. So that's kind of our goal. Our next big goal is to get to 2 million.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring this comment up here from one of our guys here, Kev, and he says, having your biggest year ever at BVL at a point in time where organized bowling is pretty much at an all-time low is a testament to the quality of BVL as a charity, and I'd agree with that. I mean, obviously people don't hesitate because the numbers of bowlers that are participating in those types of local and state tournaments is, he's right, is probably at a lower number than it's been in quite some time. So, I think that as he said, it shows a certain level of trust between the bowlers and your organization as well.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we really encourage these local associations to designate the funds that they do raise, which means that they can keep them in their local community. So, I live near Albany, New York. Say the Albany USBC raises $5,000. They can designate that $5,000 right back to the VA in Albany or any other veteran organization that they choose. So in that sense, we just become a pass through. They send us the money, we issue the check right back out to the veteran organization of their choice. So that's a huge selling point too, that you can keep the funds local. And we also really, really pride ourselves in keeping our overhead low. Around 92 cents of every dollar goes back to the veterans if it's not a designated donation, and in that case 100% goes back.
Yeah, and today, and I hate to say this, but it's just the reality of the way our world is. Like, people often think they're being scammed, right?
Yeah,
and
of course.
People see, fundraiser donations, and like you said, they, how much of the money is actually going towards the cause that they say they're supporting or whatever. And then, I think that speaks to the point that Kev made, just about the trust that the members of the bowling community have with BBL, because they know that, this is an organization that's doing the right thing with the money. Right.
Yeah. I'm surprised by that number last year too, because like you said, league bowling is down, just bowling in general. But I think for a lot of these associations and bowling centers, it becomes a competition for them, right? So I like to tell this story. There's a little bowling center in Lodi, Ohio, Strike and Spare Lanes. Hi to Barbie if she's watching. But and I hope I get this right, but I want to say 4 or 5 years ago at Bowl Expo, she brought us a check for $500, which is what her bowling center raised for BBL. And it became a competition for her. She's like, okay, we've got to beat this. We've got to beat this every year. And this year she brought us a check for $15,000. So it's just crazy to see, when a proprietor buys in, or a local association manager, or even your league president. It's really incredible what can happen when everybody kind of chips in and helps move things along.
Yeah, no
so
question.
Jessica, I have a question here. Let's just say I'm a local bowler. I bowl in my league. I'm a once a week bowler, or maybe a twice a week bowler. How can myself or maybe somebody in a bowling center somewhere get more involved, or help you get to 3.6 million this year, like double? Like, what can I do with the local bowler to help this cause?
Yeah, that's a great question. The best place to start is our website. It's bvl.org. There's a lot of resources on there that, bowling centers, associations, there's different templates you can download. Say you want a template for a pass the hat printable that you can do. Or if you want to get even more involved, you want to become what we call a BVL ambassador and help promote BVL at the local state level. You can fill out an application on there, and Libby will get in touch with you if you really want to help promote BVL in that way. But mainly, just our website. You'll find a lot of tools on there that can help you with some ideas in your league. Maybe there's ideas on there to run, little tournaments. So a lot of resources on there.
Nice. And I'm gonna throw a little curveball at you, being executive director. I'm always a long-term type vision guy when I'm at work and I'm doing what I do. What do you think? What is your vision for the next 3 years, 5 years for BVL?
Yeah, that's a good question too. And like I said, I've kind of had this personal mission since I came on board, was like, I want every bowler to know what BVL is and what we do. But I think as I look at, down the road, I truly think that we do have to reach some people outside of bowling. And that's not to say that we don't reach some people outside of bowling now, but we have to, I think, if we want to take that next step. I would like to, in 3 years, look back and be like, oh, 2 million a year was nothing. And the further I get along in this, and I have firsthand experiences with these veterans. Just a quick little story here. A couple of weeks ago, I was at the Go Bowling Military Bowl, and we presented a check for $100,000 there to an organization called Patriot Point, which is a veterans retreat on Maryland's Eastern Shore in the Chesapeake Bay. It's absolutely incredible. But before we presented that check, we were invited to a Medal of Honor dinner the night before the game, which I didn't realize how few living Medal of Honor recipients there are. So I was in a room with five Medal of Honor recipients. You're talking guys that jumped on a grenade that thankfully didn't detonate. A guy, was shot in the head. So hearing their stories, but there was a guy there that had done multiple tours in Iraq. And he said that when he went to Patriot Point, because he's been there, it felt like Disney to him. So to think that what we're doing can give these heroes a Disney-like experience, it brings tears to my eyes because, I've taken my kid to Disney. I know how special that is, but to hear a grown man that has fought for our country, that a place can bring him that much healing, that's really special. So when I hear that, to me, I'm like, the sky's the limit. Like, how can we reach as many people as possible? So I don't know what that, number looks like in a couple years. I just know that more people will know about BVL than they do now. And if I can just keep spreading the word, I know we'll eventually get there.
It's an incredible story. And heroes is exactly the term that I would use. It's definitely humbling, to say the least. Like, I can't imagine being in the room with those heroes. It's great. That's a great story, though, Jessica. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it really is incredible. And I think until I started experiencing that stuff firsthand, you don't know until you know, right? And it really hits you. So that was really special to know that we support Patriot Point, and it gave somebody that experience. So.
Well, listen, BVL has a supporter in Sweep the Rack. I can't speak for Rob, but every event I go to that and I'm in Monmouth County, New Jersey.
You are? I feel bad. I didn't know that. I was just down there.
I am.
We did an event. We honored Johnny. I'm sure you heard about that. But
no doubt. I saw it.
They do an incredible job with the Pro-Am every year.
Yeah. So whenever I'm at an event for the county, I always donate to BVL. I always put in for the 50-50. And a few years ago, I'm probably a while back at this point now, but we run one of the tournaments they run is like a team tournament every year. And we won the team tournament. We actually donated all of our winnings to BVL.
That's
because
amazing.
There were a couple guys on the team whose dads were vets or whatever. So definitely something that I've supported myself in the past. My dad was a Vietnam vet. It was something he was very, very passionate about, veterans' rights and things of that nature. And I just want to say, I'm glad that we have organizations that support veterans, but and we don't really get political much here, but I'm actually going to say something political on this podcast right now. I wish we didn't need organizations to support veterans. I wish our country did more to support the veterans on their own without the help of outside organizations. These are people that dedicate their lives to our country. So yeah, I feel like it would be nice if we got to a place where you didn't need so much outside support. But with that said, good thing that we have organizations that are doing that kind of work, and BVL is certainly one of them.
Yeah.
My dad, one of his favorite things about going to JBTs was when Petraglia Sr. would be there, and they would sit in the back and they would talk Vietnam stories while watching us bowl. That was literally like one of his favorite things to do while at a JBT tournament. So yeah, definitely something that hits close to home for me. And I've always been a supporter of you guys. And like I said, if people that are listening don't know, Monmouth County, New Jersey, big supporters of BVL. Am I right?
Yes,
Like
they're amazing. They're one of our BVL Best Award winners last couple of years. They're amazing. And you guys are so lucky to have Johnny. He's just been an incredible. Anybody that knows Johnny knows he's an incredible human being, but he's been an incredible ambassador for not only our sport, but BVL over all of these years. So yeah, I was just down there second week of December. I think we honored Johnny as a BVL legend.
Rightfully so. And you were at Hal, you were at Rev Rates. I practiced there.
Yes, yeah. We had a really nice afternoon for him. But yeah, his Vietnam stories are crazy. And yeah, I mean, if you get the chance, there's a really cool video. I think we have the video on our socials as well, but it's a snippet of a video that Brunswick did. And if you guys aren't familiar with Johnny's story about getting drafted, you should go watch that, because it's really a full circle moment in the bowling world. So you should give that a watch. But yeah, we're really thankful to have Johnny, and Monmouth County in general has just been amazing. So thank you for that support.
No doubt. Shout to Monmouth County.
Yes.
Shout to Monmouth County, New Jersey. I know there's a lot of Monmouth County people that listen to this podcast, so I'm gonna give them all a big shout for their support of BVL, no doubt.
Yeah. So Jessica, we're going to start to get you out of here. But first, how do we, I know you shouted your website already. Shout your website again. How do I follow you guys on social media? How do I locally support you? Maybe I want to become an ambassador or whatever it is. Give us the rundown on how we can support BVL one last time so we can make that clear for our people.
Yeah, no, that's great. First, we'll be heading to our website, bvl.org. You can sign up to be an ambassador on there. You can download materials to help, fundraising at your local levels. Or you can click that donate button and make a one-time donation. Or like we said, we would greatly appreciate a monthly recurring donation for as little as $5 a month. You can really help brighten veterans' lives. So also, if you haven't done so already, you can like us on Facebook, Instagram, and then we do have a YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
There you go. We appreciate your time, Jessica. What a great cause you work for. And you've obviously dedicated a Sunday night here to get the word out, which is, more time than I would probably work at my job without charging them for OT. So,
it honestly, I've been a lot of different things in the bowling industry, from the bowling side, father's a proprietor, worked in a center, whatever. But I tell people now that I truly have the best job in bowling, because nobody comes to the charity complaining, right? Like, we don't get a lot of negativity here. So it's all been really positive. And I can truly say I wake up every day and it doesn't feel like work. So it's really a special place to be able to make an impact. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no doubt. I would say sign us up as ambassadors, but we say too much controversial stuff around here. So you don't want me or Rob as an ambassador, but you have our support and whether it's monetary or otherwise. If there's ever a time you want to come and get something out to the people, you just let us know, and you're more than welcome to our platform here. But yeah, you don't want us as ambassadors. We don't do well as ambassadors. We just cause too much controversy.
Too much.
No worries. You guys are doing enough just having me on here, so I truly appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys soon.
Cool.
All right, no doubt. Keep doing what you're doing.
Take care. Here's a name from the past, Alicia Current. Hi, Alicia. Jess is doing an amazing job in her role and definitely bringing more awareness to BVL. Man, Alicia, she could bowl, flat out bowl when we were younger. Hopefully you're still bowling, Alicia. Hopefully you're still crushing them, because you used to crush them when we were younger. But anyway, to wrap up the interview with Jessica, what an amazing cause. And just
worthy cause.
Yeah. And it definitely hits home for you, being your dad was a veteran. And for me, I have an ultimate respect for veterans and people who serve our country. Have a lot of close friends who serve our country, who served our country, current and veterans and whatnot. And talk about giving up your life. That's exactly what it is. It's not just when you serve and you come home, you give up your life. You are essentially, that is who you are. And I don't think that ever leaves you as a person. But man, what a great, I'm glad we had a chance to bring her on and talk more about what it is. And maybe we could get a couple more people to support it, ambassadors, donate, whatever it is, just to get the word out. So next time there is a 50-50 at your local tournament and you're bowling, give $10, $20 to a 50-50 or donate it. Tell your people you're bowling with. Maybe it's a team tournament, a doubles tournament, whatever it is. Hey, let's all chip in and give to this cause, because they're giving 92 cents to the dollar, Mike, back to the veterans. And they do a lot of things for the veterans. Probably a lot of this stuff we probably didn't even hear. So it's just an amazing cause, and I'm glad we were able to get her on.
Yeah, and I would encourage anybody out there listening, if you bowl in some of your local stuff and they don't already have a BVL 50-50 or something of that nature, maybe start one. Right, it's a great way to get involved and help out and help them do more great work for the veterans. But
for sure.
All right, Rob, moving on here.
Moving on. A very positive night of Sweep the Rack. A lot of positive topics we're talking through, except for your league night. Are you bowling sub 500?
I almost went sub 500. Not positive at all.
Not positive.
Rob's trying to turn the ship here. He's
no, because once the PBA starts, we're going right.
We're going right down.
We are sinking right back down into the negative, toxic, all the other stuff that people think that we are or whatever. But so we're gonna do our weekly segment on how do we grow the bowling industry, the sport of bowling, whatever it is, right? And I'm gonna start here, Mike, because I think this is something more on the pro PBA level that needs to be done to essentially bringing more sponsors, which brings in more ratings, which brings in more viewers, which then causes a streamline of growth in the bowling industry, right? You could ultimately say that the way to get into people bowling into people's homes that don't normally bowl is TV, right? Or internet, because that's what people are watching or they're on their computers. I think bowling needs to do a better job of making their pros more celebrity-like. Okay? Meaning they need to become a little bit less think about it is, I remember having this conversation with a couple of high-level pros where they said that their pros were too obtainable, right? The fans were too accessible to the pros, which could be a take where you maybe disagree with that, right? Well, hey, why is it a bad thing having pros being accessible to people? It's not essentially bad, but if you could try to give them more of a celebrity type status, meaning obviously documentaries, right? Storylines behind them, rivalries, trash talking, just anything you could think of that would kind of bring them to the forefront of PBA. I know for people in the internet, in the real type social media type world, I think is going to help. I'd like to see a situation where a pro just won a Masters and they're walking back to the back to get their, to bring their bowling balls in, and there's all lines of people trying to like get his autograph, and just getting mainstream media to cover when a pro does something wrong or gets injured, right? Or there's just more of a relationship of a like fan type celebrity when it comes to the actual pros themselves. And I think there needs to be a lot more outside of bowling type storylines to do that in order to grow the PBA or grow the celebrity status of these pros.
Yeah, I vehemently disagree with your take here.
Okay. Why? Give me a few reasons why.
No, because you're describing what all other sports are, right? How you're describing how the athletes are in all other sports. And one of the things that I think is awesome about bowling, or taking your kid to a bowling event, is that they can literally go up and meet the pros and meet the players, and they're rather approachable, and they can even ask them questions or get a little tip or a piece of advice. And you don't ever see that. I mean, very, very rarely in other sports. In fact, when it happens in other sports, it's like viral, because it's that uncommon. So, I remember being a kid, and I know you remember this, Rob, and going to the Johnny Petraglia Open and walking around and being in awe at Norm Duke or Walter Ray or Pete Weber walking by you on the concourse, and even being able to, stop some guys and chat, or take a picture if you had a camera on you at that time, get them to sign your bowling pin or whatever it may be. And I always really enjoyed that. I always thought that was a really cool aspect of professional bowling. I hear where you're coming from. I 100% see what you're saying. I would also say that, man, we have such a long way to go before we get to a place like that. Right?
Agreed. I think there's there's always a time and place to meet like the fans, right? And I mean by that is I don't know if like one day you have meet and greets, right, where people are waiting in lines to sign autographs and whatnot. I just think during an actual tournament, like the actual play of the tournament, I think the pros should be off limits while they're bowling. If they want to be if the pros want to be in the bowling center after hours and be there hanging out in the bar, cafeteria, you go to Portland, Maine, you could do that and meet a lot of these guys, then that's cool. That's fine. I'm not opposed to that. But while the people are bowling, I don't think that the fans should even be able to like walk up to a pro like at all. Like I think it should be completely like off limits to even, there should be even a separate kind of walkway to get to like lane to lane. And when they're leaving the concourse I think they should keep the pros away while they're bowling. But yeah, I'm more probably passionate about the other aspect of it, is getting the storylines. I saw a TikTok that had 40,000 or 50,000 likes, had a whole bunch of views of a regular streamer, like video, and someone of my non-bowling friends sent this to me, of watching a Pete Weber clip when he was on the show, and he was cursing at the guy who was moving in the crowd, and then he threw a strike and was talking a bunch of crap and was just like, yeah, you want it, you got it. And the guy who was streaming was like, yo, this is amazing. Mike, what happened to your camera? Oh, there you're back. But yeah, I think obviously there needs to be a little bit more of that in the social media world, the real world, where, and I mean the real world, I'm talking REEL world, the real world, I call it, where it's all on reels now. It's all like people are watching. It's 10 seconds every time, but it gives some really good highlight clips. So, all right. So that's kind of where I'm off my high horse on how to like fix or help bowling and grow
So
it.
I guess you would sum up your idea there by saying make professional bowlers more exclusive.
Make it more exclusive and show more of them on a personal level. Show people, not scores, Mike. Show people, not bowling. People want to watch people. People want to have relationships with people. I'm talking fan celebrity type relationships. And I think that's an important aspect that sometimes I think the PBA misses. They just like to put bowling on TV. I want to hear about storylines. I want to hear about I want to learn to I want someone to become my favorite pro because I have a kind of a relationship with them watching them on TV.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Rob, how do most young people today? Well, all right. I'll ask this first. How do most young people today? Do you think how do you think they get involved in bowling? Like at what level, at what age, and how do you think they get involved in bowling?
I think it comes from usually probably if a family member is already bowling.
Okay.
I think if like mom or dad bowls, I think is probably first way a kid gets involved.
Overall, when you look at the whole landscape of all young people, all junior bowlers, you think the majority are people who had a parent or somebody else bowling? Okay.
Correct. I do.
Would you? Okay, I'm surprised by that answer. Would you agree with me if I were to say that I feel like a large section of bowlers under junior bowlers, let's say under the age of 21, okay, get involved in bowling through a team bowling experience, whether that be mostly what I'm referring to is high school bowling. I feel like we probably get a large influx of bowlers that enter bowling in the high school age, right? And they're entering the bowling community at the high school age because they're joining their high school team.
It's a good possibility where their friends are maybe on the team and then they want to join and then kind of like that snowball.
They don't make the sport that they played as a kid, so they say, I'm going to go out for bowling. And I'll be honest, Sean, the reason I feel that way is because the kids you're talking about, those are the kids that are going to be the really talented high school bowlers, right? Those are going to be the kids that have already been bowling for numerous years. Their parents bowled. They've been bowling for a long time. They bowled junior leagues and all that. I don't, and where I'm going with this, I know I'm going in a long circle here, but where I'm going with this is that junior leagues are dead. Okay, junior leagues are dead.
Are they?
Yeah. Oh, I think they are. Saturday morning junior leagues. You don't think they're dead?
I don't know. I can't make. I think it depends on your area.
I think in large part across the country, Saturday morning junior leagues are dead. I mean, from what they used to be. Do people in the chat want to comment on this? Where are you at on this? Are Saturday morning junior leagues a thing of the past? We used to have 3 shifts of Saturday junior leagues: 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. Okay. Today, most bowling centers I frequent have very few junior leagues.
So I was curious, Mike, and I wanted to just kind of look up online to see if I could find something about the USBC and youth members. Youth membership has exceeded 100,000 bowlers for the 3rd year in a row, showing steady membership stability and growth in recent seasons. This number reflects kids and teens participating in USBC sanctioned youth bowling programs and leagues across the U.S.
Okay, but that's probably based on comparing it to recent, right? I'm talking back when even the 90s, even when you go to when we were bowling youth and bowling juniors. I think that it's probably a fraction of what it was at that time, right? And one thing that I have thought about in terms of growing the bowling community or how to get more people involved in bowling, when I think about this, I always think about the younger people and bringing new people into the game, right? And I think about the fact that a lot of junior bowlers today, anyway, their first experiences with bowling are, and again, this is just my opinion, are likely based in a team setting.
Okay.
Right? Where they're joining their high school team. And I think that's an easier entry point for someone than deciding to do something on your own as an individual.
That makes sense. I mean, you think about it as a kid, right? My friend used to say, "Hey, let's go play hockey. We're all going to play hockey." I don't know how to play hockey. Give me the freaking stick and give me the skates and let's fucking roll, right?
Exactly, right? But for you to go, what were the chances that on your own you were going to say, "Hey, I'm going to go play hockey"?
No, zero chance.
Okay, all right. So you understand where I'm going.
I understand where you're coming from. I understand the point.
I think we need to try something different to try and bring junior leagues back in a major way. We need to get more young people, and I'm talking young people. I'm going to say under the age of 13, okay, younger than high school age. We need to get more younger than high school age people out there bowling, okay? And my idea to do that, all right, is to try and get away from making it an individual choice to start bowling, right? Like you're not going to get a lot of kids, like we just said with hockey, with that example, you're not going to get a lot of kids that on their own as an individual say, I want to go and do bowling, or I want to learn about bowling, or I want to try bowling. But if we can find a way to make it a team-based activity, which it already is at the high school level, right? And I believe that's why you're going to get more kids in at that entry point, because it's a team activity. If we could try and translate that team setting, and I know the junior leagues were always teams, but most of the time it was like teams being put together with kids who were joining, right? It was already groups of kids who knew they were going to bowl together. They knew each other from these experiences from school. Today, you're not going to get that as much. You're going to get kids coming and entering as an individual, right? So we need to develop a team setting for junior bowling, okay? The same way that you might go and join your local rec basketball league, okay, or your local rec soccer league, and you can go and join that as an individual, but they're going to put you on a team, and they're going to make sure that team has a coach that's going to introduce you to that sport in an entry-level way, and you show up each week and you play with those same people and you develop a relationship with those same people and you have a little end of the year team party, okay? We need to bring that to junior bowling.
Yeah, and I think there's a comment in the chat here that I'm going to bring up. So Mr. Skibbs here. Social media is the key to growing bowling. The trick shot video that Belmo did years past got how many views? Kids love it. Promoting the sport online, showing its excitement. I completely agree with that, Skibbs.
Yeah, but answer me this then. That was numerous years ago, right? He did things with Dude Perfect, and he did a video with that editing guy or whatever. Where's the bump, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got to be.
Where's the effect? We're years past that already.
Yeah, but you're
still in the same boat. So
Mike,
I'm not sure that I agree with that all that much.
Yeah, but you can't judge. You don't know. You can't. It's not like one viral video is gonna turn the USBC youth membership into hundreds of thousands of more kids. I think it's just a steady increase of having a lot of social media influencers or people with followers to get into bowling somehow, or get some clips of bowling or whatever it is, right? And I think it's a new generation of promoting. You can't, and there's another comment in that said that you can't just go around to elementary schools and promote anymore. I think Mike said that, Michael Blair Jr. He says the biggest challenge today compared to the 90s is the accessibility of marketing these kids. In the 90s, we could market directly to the elementary schools. Now you can't. So
okay,
I think
so I hear you on that part. Like I mean, let's see. I don't want to use a name here. But um, there's ways to use social media to promote youth team bowling as a hype thing.
Right. I know what
Right?
you're saying. It's got to be a cool thing.
That's it. You know,
They
it's
got to
got to
find a
have
way
that
to.
vibe to it. Like, I'm not talking about, Biff and Yaba. I'm talking about like, and you know
Right.
what? I'm going to say it. I'm talking about like a youth version of the UBA. Okay. I'm talking about something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe not as based in trash talk, perhaps, but colorful
So
jerseys, colorful team names, celebrations of people bowling well, etc. Now, hear me out though. Hear me out here, right? Part of this to me is about making junior bowling more like the rec soccer experience, the rec basketball experience, um, the rec hockey experience, right? Where you come in, you bowl for a certain season. I don't know what season it would be. I don't know. You can take your pick. You might even be able to run multiple seasons throughout the year and have an advantage over other sports, to where soccer has to take a break during the winter and they run a fall and spring rec soccer program. Bowling could probably run a fall, winter, spring, and summer rec program, right? You bring kids in through that program, right? But you only make it a short thing. You make it a schedule of matches where they bowl this team, this team, this team. They have 6, 7 games. They bowl for 7, 8 weeks. They get some instruction, and then it's over. They have a little team party with pizza on the last week, and they go their merry way. But here's what would happen. Okay, just like with other sports, here's what would happen. Not only would you get a lot of those kids who return for that year after year. Okay, you would get a lot of kids that would return for that experience year after year. You're going to find who the kids are who are more deeply into it and who are more deeply talented at it. And those kids are now in an earlier age and a younger age and in greater numbers going to progress through the game. Right. But we have to do something to bring junior bowling back.
So okay, so real quick, and we'll finish this topic because I know we want to get the rest of the week, whatever. But like, if I'm gonna make bowling cool, how did sneakers, Mike? You're a shoe guy. How did sneakers get cool? I'll give you one word. I'll give you 2 words. Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan. Nike put sneakers on Michael Jordan, and he made them cool, right? I feel like sometimes that the bowling needs to partner with a younger type person who's got a big social media influence. And I use someone like I Show Speed. I'll use him because he's got a huge social media presence. Give money, give the kid money, get him into bowling alleys, partnering with some of your pro bowlers. Do a lot of videos, a lot of promotions, pay the money for somebody like that to come in and maybe make it a fun, cool thing. A spokesperson. We talked about Mookie Betts, right? Mookie Betts could make bowling cool, really, because I mean the guy is, an all-star for the Dodgers, whatever. But like, I think bowling needs to go on the path of like bringing in cool type people and pay the money to get these cool people involved, to get it cool to the elementary and the middle school kids. Just my opinion, but I know we could talk hours for that. But it is a good topic.
Rob, the New Jersey Senior Masters champion, is in the building, son.
Dude, congrats, Lou.
Shout out to Lou, New Jersey Senior
Congrats,
Masters.
brother. That's awesome, man. Appreciate it.
I was going to wait to say shout on Tuesday, but since you're here, give you a shout now. Shout out to you, bro. Good bowling.
Yeah.
No, listen, Rob, the USBC should be the organization that's doing this. They should be finding ways to market bowling to younger people, to get them in the building and get them interested in sport. And it's like, it's hype videos. It's hype videos. You know what I'm saying? It's like hype videos that make it look like something you want to get involved in or try out, and you get them in that way. Yeah, that's
Dude,
it. That's my idea. Like, bring back youth bowling, bring back junior bowling.
Mike, I'm going to cover ourselves up here because this is a really long comment, but Alicia's been in bowling for as long as we have.
Well, don't say this. Don't. If I said this, they'd come for me with pitchforks.
Yeah. Also, the juniors' first big tournament singles is junior gold. The amount of parents and juniors I have spoke to the last 4 years, I have been a junior gold for Dexter Bowling. I would say 35% of them it's their first tournament outside of their home state and maybe even home center. They, parents and kids, have no idea what's going on out there. We all three of us grew up in the JBT era, new competition. It's just so different these days. Alicia, Mike has got a huge smile on his face because he's been preaching this for years when Junior Gold comes through. So Alicia, when Junior Gold when it happens, I'll get in touch with you. I'm going to bring you on to talk to you. I think that would be a good discussion.
That's a problem. That's a problem, and that's what I'm saying. We need to be more grassroots here. We need to be bringing younger kids into a younger age because they'll have the interest in it to go out and bowl something like Junior Gold, but we need to capture them at a younger age and get them in so they have a better chance to develop.
Hey Jeff, my brother's in the chat. I think he made a really good point here. Junior bowling is in a weird place. It's never been bigger on the national level, but it's never been smaller on the local level. So real quick, I was running some numbers, and I think the last known membership for youth bowling back when they actually were counting it was about 400,000 YABA members prior to 2005. So if it's talking 100,000 now, it might be steadily
2005.
It might be steadily increasing. I don't know what Jinx's the issue is here. I haven't spoke to Tony in a while, man. Asking how's Tony Lacaze doing?
Tony Lacaze, one of the most clutch 10th frames in PBA history. Tony Lacaze on a ball change.
The last time I saw Tony, I was living in Chicago. It was around 2019, and I went to visit him when he's bowling league over in Chicago. So last I know, and that was about 5 or 6 years ago, that Tony's doing well. He's working bowling league, but I haven't heard from him in the last 5 or 6 years, man. I love the kid. If you know him, tell him I said what's up. Anyway, all right, Mike, you ready to get this wrapped up? We could talk about that for hours and youth bowling and high school bowling and all that stuff, but it's a good topic.
No doubt.
All right, let's get this.
Do you have mine pulled up? No?
Yeah. Do you want me to do yours and mine tonight?
You can either pull it up, or I could pull it up from the 12 people that sent it to me on my phone.
I got it.
This is an easy worst of the week. First of all, love all my people out there who contact me and hit me up as soon as they see this on social media. It warms my cold heart knowing that you all think of me when you see some ridiculousness like this on the bowling interwebs. So I love it. Bring it up, Rob. This is my worst week this week. Oh, what are we doing here, folks?
Do you want to read it? Go ahead, Mike. Read it for our people listening to audio.
What are we doing here? It says, now this is a post from Storm Bowling, but I'm not giving it to Storm Bowling. My worst of the week is going to, well, actually, it should go to both of them. It should go to Storm Bowling and Peter Potter. You should both get worst of the week, okay? Storm Bowling should get worst of the week for promoting this, and Peter Potter, he gets worst of the week for these tattoos, for this permanent patch piracy, okay? It's bad enough to be a patch pirate, but who wants permanent patch piracy? Who wants to be locked in for life? This is worse than getting a girlfriend's name tattooed on you.
So let's read it for the people listening here. Storm Bowling.
Now that's dedication. Peter Potter got the ultimate Christmas gift: a tattoo featuring the Storm Bolt Roto Grip Star and 900 Global G. Hashtag Storm Nation Bowlers Company. This one's for life. We love it. Bowling emoji, fire emoji.
So for people listening, Mr. Potter got all three logos, Storm, Global, and Roto, tattooed all on his arm or forearm. all 3 logos, and Storm is promoting it. And this got sent to us and tagged numerous times. What a crazy hey man, to each its own, but we all know
Permanent patch piracy. Please, man.
All right, I got to pull up mine here because
I hope they send him balls or something.
Man,
really,
I'm telling you.
What are we doing, bro?
Okay, so I'm gonna read this. This is from the gift that keeps on giving, not the Bowling Science Forum, Mike. The USBC message board.
Oh, it's back, baby!
It's back. I found the way in, so it's back, Mike. And I'm staying in.
Love that you guys think of me.
Yeah, people. So I don't have the gentleman's name because I've managed like an idiot to cut out the snapshot of who this person was. But this isn't the person posting it. It's definitely just the whole thread, and Mike's gonna love this. Well, I bowled in a tournament today that advertised as a house shot would be laid out. Well, instead we got the 2025 national team shot with no warning. Needless to say, low scores and unhappy people all around. Woof. It's just one of those things that you read the comments and it even gets better and better. But if there was one tournament in my life that I wish I would have been able to personally experience, it would have this person's tournament. Going in expecting the house shot and then watching them put the 2025 national team shot, which, by the way, is a very, very hard shot, Mike. It is no joke, the team shot, right? It is not an easy shot at all. So these people went from going there thinking they were going to be standing left and striking at will to standing left and picking 3 off the left and then moving right and picking 3 off the right and probably bowling 140s and 150s. So that is my worst of the week. I wish if anybody knows where this happened and anybody was there for it, please reach out. Let me know. I would really like to get a good laugh. But right, Mike.
If somebody came and cut us a check for a few mil tomorrow, and I had all the time in the world to do content,
that would be it.
The first piece of content I would do, okay, is I would find the biggest, most serious league I could find. Okay, I could already in Jersey. I can tell you what league it would be. It would be Thursday nights at Strathmore Lanes. Okay, there's 50-some teams in this league. All right, big action, house hacks, and patch pirates galore. Okay, and I would go into that league, and I would arrange somehow. I don't know how I'd be able to pull this off. I'd probably have to bribe the lane guy. Right, it would probably be my way to do it. I'd say, "Here, I'll give you $1,000 if you run this pattern instead of the house shot."
U.S. Open.
And I would have them run the U.S. Open 40-foot flat, okay? And I would set up cameras on every pair,
microphone,
around the bowling center. And let me tell you something, bro.
Hidden mics.
It would be the best bowling content you've ever seen. Because there's nothing funnier than watching some inexperienced house hacks try and strike on a legit sport pattern, okay? Within frames, frustration, rage, and depression is going to rear its ugly head, okay? And it's just remarkable the reaction that you get out of people. Disbelief at their ball reaction, ripping their hair out because they cannot hit the pocket. So I want to do that so badly, man. I mean, it's just that's just chef's kiss content right there. I'm telling you.
All right, Mike, you ready to wrap this up?
Let's do. My final thought is, Rob, now that the NFL season's over for me, is let's get to the start of the PBA. I was hoping my NFL season would be extended all the way up to the near start of the PBA season, but I'm going to have a few weeks here, a few weeks of misery. But now I really can't wait for the PBA season to start.
Gotcha. My final thought is I got a tournament sent to me by a few people, but I promoted on my Facebook last week. Greg Bruff, who came on our show a while back, old college friend of mine, bowled at SVSU, has been fighting cancer and has been promoting to run fundraisers for just cancer awareness. And he's running a tournament on May 16th in York, Pennsylvania at Suburban Bolorama. It's at 1945 South Queen Street. If you all want to look it up, it's a York County Open in support of colorectal cancer awareness. And it's a bowling tournament, and it's going to be for a good cause. So if anybody is in that area or anybody wants to go down and support a really good tournament for a really good cause, look that up on Facebook, and you can get all the information on how to sign up, etc. So just so you guys know, it's a York County Open in support of colorectal cancer awareness, which is on May 16th and May 17th in York, PA. So I think, look, good cause, cancer awareness, I think hits close home to everybody. Everybody has someone who's been affected by cancer or themselves. And I think people need to support these type of fundraisers and tournaments. So that's my final thought, Mike. And yeah, it's about it. So you want to wrap us up? Hey, if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel yet, hit us up. Just do it, man. Please. I don't ask for a lot. Facebook to like our page. I got all excited. I was at 10,000 followers last week. I appreciate everybody who follows us. It's my debauchery AI content that I post every once in a while that gets ripped to shreds because of some little error that AI comes up with. But, I try to entertain the people on social media as much as I can. I have fun doing it, and I have fun sometimes pissing people off too, which is kind of what comes along with the social media territory, because I feel like I piss someone off every day, but hey, it is what it is. So
no doubt, keep sending us the emails. We love the emails. I want to give a shout to Mike Paco, Nick Hunt, Steve Mueller, Chris Valdivia, Nico Gorian, John Clinton.
Yeah, all emails, man.
Yeah, for all emails. Honestly, love reading the emails. Love them.
You might not respond as quick as we can.
Sorry, guys. If we don't get back, it's just because we're both busy. But we do read them, and we do love the emails. So keep the emails coming. Greatly appreciate that. All right, Rob. I think we'll be back next week. I think we'll be back next Sunday.
Yeah.
We inch closer to the start of our favorite time of the year, the start of the PBA season. So as we get closer, expect more content from us related to the start of the tour season. So everybody bowl good this week, and we will see you next Sunday.
Later.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.